Hi, welcome. Today I'd like to talk about spiritual bypassing and the idea that if we ignore our problems or avoid our problems, then we are doing something wrong. And there's a little bit of a misconception here about what it actually means to avoid your problems or to simply raise your vibration by not being attached or enveloped in that problem. So I have here illustrated that the problem is seen from a place where you do not have any solution, that you do not have any foreseeable view of an outcome that is preferred by you. When you're stuck in a problem, you cannot think of any solutions or any new inspiration or creative ideas that will aid you in becoming less of that problem. And that because the problem isn't something that is out in the world, because of course, there's those instances where emergencies happen and, you have to think of something really quick, but usually in those instances, you don't have to think at all because your instincts will instantly know how to save a life or, how to get somebody to safety or whatever. But this isn't what I'm talking about. I'm talking about problems that are of the mind. So problems aren't out in the real world. They are in your own experience because that is your view of the world. And there's something flawed in the way you are seeing the situation or the circumstance, and you're not seeing it from a high enough view that you're able to perceive an easy way and a soothing and a peaceful, joyful, loving way that you can bypass that issue within yourself. So if you are perceiving a problem in your life, it's because you are not doing what you can to put yourself in a higher frequency, in a higher state of being that is going to make you more accessible to higher thoughts or ideas that are more creative, ideas that are more wise, that are more loving to you and others, that is going to help you get out of this rut or this perceived, dissonance and this perceived desperate plea for something else to be. Because when you're in a problem, you are suffering and you don't have any tools, or you don't use your imagination, and you don't use your will to go to that place where it is always accessible to you through your imagination and the connection to positive thoughts, loving thoughts, empowering thoughts, freeing thoughts, abundant thoughts. Usually a lot of us suffer from the problem that we don't have enough, that we need more money, that we need more things, we need more relationships, we need more friends, we need more and more and more and more. And it's because we think we don't have what it takes to make us feel happy right now. And we base our state of being and our own emotional quality right now off of what it is out there and what it is in the physical realm that is giving us permission to feel a particular way, like, driving a Corvette to work and to on the weekends is going to give you a permission slip to make you feel a little bit better about yourself and to make you feel more, abundant in your life. But solution-oriented perspectives are going to help you see that there is another way that you, and another view you can take of the perception that you are here down in the dumps, that you have no way out of this valley experience. That if you simply, if we're looking at this metaphor and this analogy, if you can actually transport yourself, if you're down here in the valley, you can transport your consciousness up here to the solution on the mountaintop and see the way out of the valley, because you have that higher perspective, and you see that there's actually more thoughts that are available to you up there. There's more imagination. There's more to view. There's more to experience when you're at the high state of the mountaintop. And this mountaintop is a symbolic representation of high frequency. So how do we get to a high frequency? It's by following your highest joy and highest passion and highest desires. So spiritual bypassing is something that is known as, ignoring your feelings, or ignoring something like an addiction, or ignoring something that you are that ultimately makes you feel really bad. So we do something to make us feel better, so we can effectively ignore or maneuver our focus and attention to something that makes us feel better. This is ultimately the mechanics of how you elevate your frequency and your consciousness. However, people do use this in a physical sense, that they use spiritual bypassing in a way to alter their consciousness inauthentically, and kind of, I shouldn't say inauthentically, but essentially they're altering their consciousness artificially through the use of physical reality and physical substances. So we don't actually need physical reality to alter our state of being, but a lot of us use that for a permission slip to alter our consciousness. So we actually don't need that, though, because we are able to imagine anything. We are able to imagine anything, and that our imagination helps us shift into a new perception, a new visualization, a new feeling state that is ultimately has nothing to do with the physical circumstances that you're in right now. The problem. You are in a issue and a conundrum right now, where you're confused and you don't know what to do with your life. But if you simply imagine what it is that will make you feel happy, then temporarily that will make you feel better. And the more that you imagine yourself to be what it is that you desire, the more that you're able to really shift your perspective more frequently to that solution-oriented place. And the more you do that, the more your actions will align with that image, with those images and that perception. So you will be ultimately guiding yourself out of the problem and the valley experience of despair and shadow and darkness, where you can't see your way out. And spiritual bypassing is not to avoid your feelings through negating how you feel bad, but it's more about shifting your perspective into a positive one, and a one that is more in line with what you desire and one that is more in line with your true happiness and true freedom and true liberation and joy and passion, because that all those feelings that I just mentioned are going to elevate your state of being and your feeling state and your quality of consciousness, so that you can actually start to think the thoughts and get creative ideas about how you can actually go about changing your circumstances and changing your inner state, your internal state of being, so that your external state will change and morph and shift and maneuver itself around your center of gravity. Because consciousness is the ultimate prime mover and the ultimate thing that will transform lesser forms of consciousness. And humans, by the way, are the highest form of consciousness on Earth that we know of on the mainstream. But that's another video to talk about. But you as a human being are much more conscious than a rock, than an animal, than a tree. And therefore, you are able to actually transform that material in the way that you see fit. And I completely suggest that you do so in a loving and helpful and authentic, genuine way that is going to make you and that other conscious portion of reality and conscious portion of God into a more connected version of yourself. So instead of ignoring and terming, doing the things that you want to do rather than not doing the things you do as something that is bypassing or procrastinating or doing something that is not yet accessible to you in a fun and joyful way, instead of thinking like that, you are actually shifting your awareness into something into a state that is going to make you more capable of doing what it is you want to do on a regular and frequent basis that makes you happy. Because maybe perhaps most of your life you haven't been doing what you want to do and you haven't been doing what you love. So it's going to take a little bit of training, a little bit of discipline, and also desire to shift your imagination into a solution-oriented place, a place that is more in line with your happiness, joy, high-frequency vibration that is generous and loving to each and everything. And ignoring your problems so much is not what it's about. You're not actually doing that by shifting your perspective into what it is you want to do, because you're just choosing what you prefer in that moment, and that is completely up to you as a free agent and a free will portion of consciousness as a human being. That's completely up to you, and there's nothing inherently right or wrong about anything in the world, and it's only the way you perceive the world that makes it right or wrong. So that if you want to drink alcohol and drink beer during the day rather than go to work, and that makes you feel really excited and makes you feel like happy, then I suggest you try that. And something is going to spark within you that, you know what, I can actually do this if I want to, and I can start doing other things that I want to do, and I actually want to start a business of my own, and then it'll just take off from there. If you maintain a high frequency state, then you actually can think and get into that frequency domain that is going to allow you to think about new creative solutions and new happy thoughts and happy potential realities that you can access. and you will ultimately get a download or intuition or insights into what it is that you can do about your reality while you're in that high frequency state. And don't put conditions on, you know, what this high frequency state looks like, because it's going to look like different for everybody. You know, it could be eating a gallon of ice cream for somebody, it could be eating a cheeseburger, it could be going for a hike, it could be going, you know, camping, or it could be going to see a movie. And that gets somebody in that high frequency freedom state, and then they keep getting thought after inspiration and insight after another, and they're able to follow that joy and that each insight and desire one by one, and raise the frequency up one by one by one. And then, you know, because you always want to go down if you're consistently, you know, stuck in this third density lack belief state of, you know, our typical society. You'll always come down. It's always a process of, you know, integration and acceleration, integration, acceleration. But as long as you continue to want to go up and follow your bliss in each and every moment, then you will continue to rise and accelerate and switch and perform and go faster out of that valley experience. And that valley experience is very important for your own integration, because you are actually, I mentioned this in another video, how, you know, as you're going up and going down and integrating, you were actually higher than you were previously, you know, here. In your previous valley experience, you were actually lower, or in your current one, say this is now, you were actually higher, your current valley experience, than you were previously. So you did make a shift and a acceleration, and you are in a new state of being. You constantly are shifting, no matter if you choose to or not. But you know, a lot of people are leveled off like this, like, you know, the heart monitor in the hospital, like they're just dead, like they're not thinking, they're not conscious. It's just they're going throughout life in a stagnation period. And you know, that's not you. That's not you. If you're watching this video, you're capable of many other things, and you don't have to be a part of that. No. So bypassing your problem with a higher feeling state and not being conditional or judging what it is that what you want to do in order to make you feel better is going to be the most important thing, because the most important thing is your own vibratory state. And the more priority you put on your vibration and your state of being, the more that you're going to be able to live from an accelerated, positive, high output, high energy, high joy, high love for you and others, and are going to be able to create solutions for you and yourself, and help you and others live better lives. And bypassing your problems is only going to help you shift into a new reality that is more of higher resonance and higher frequency. So I also want to add here that whatever does keep coming back, and whatever negative thoughts or negative beliefs keep coming back to you, you are not able to bypass those, because you have to somewhat deal with those and transform them. And you're gonna have to really integrate them in a way that and spell them out. Really, you have to really work with them and love them and unconditionally accept the beliefs that are keep on coming back, for you to be conditional about yourself and conditional about your happiness. And you have to really work, because if you keep avoiding that and it keeps coming back, then there's a significant purpose for that, because you can't really truly accelerate, go to the next highest level, if you keep getting pulled down by this heavy baggage that you're bringing, right? If you're this person on a hike, right, and you have this backpack that's full of like a bunch of really heavy stuff, and you can't make it up the hill to the higher state of being and the higher frequency, the higher solution right here. If you can't make it up the hill with your backpack on, then you have to let the backpack go. And that backpack is a symbol of a belief that is no longer serving you and is not going to get you to where you want to go. So you have to transform it. You have to accept that, love that, and really find out what that belief is and why it is serving you, why the belief is serving you, and how you have to find out how the belief is serving you, and then understand that you prefer to not be served in that way. You don't want to be served in the way that belief has been serving you anymore. So you want to embrace a new belief. You want to embrace a new thought, a new frequency that is going to serve you better in this higher state. Because that backpack has kept you safe in the valley. That backpack has provided you warmth, shelter, food, all the things that you needed in the valley when you were stuck. All that stuff in the backpack really served you well when you were in the valley experience. That backpack needs to be honored and cherished and loved and appreciated. And you recognizing that you don't want to be in the valley anymore, and you want to be on the mountaintop, and you want to go hiking again, and you want to move and run and be free and go see the world and go see animals and nature and what's on the other side of that mountaintop, then you need to let go of what the backpack offers you and take on a new journey, a new path that is going to get you out of the valley experience and get you out of the problem and take you on a new course that is much more exciting to you, it feels much better. Because if you're camping all the time and you're out in nature and you're out in this wilderness and you're all alone and you're not really happy, then it's time to go back and go to civilization where there's other people that can love you and that you can love other people and stuff like that, and be more connected with people. And that city or that civilization is on the other side of the mountaintop, and that place, in order for you to get to that mountaintop, you have to leave behind that belief and leave behind all the camping gear that you have and all that survival gear that you needed in the valley by yourself, and let it go, because you're going back to civilization, you're going back to a higher frequency, you're going back to happiness and connectivity and love. So you don't need the survival gear. you don't need all the equipment and the baggage that you took with you for so long. You just need to let go and let yourself go into this place of fresh, new, boundless, free, expansive, outreaching, just completely strong enough that you don't need anything or anybody, and you just want to do what you want to do, and got to be confident. You have to be really in tune with what you want to do, and in tune with your imagination and your own feeling state, and know what it is that feels better to you in each and every moment. So just a quick tip for you guys, that if you're having a hard time deciding on what it is you want to choose and what it is that makes you feel better, then put one choice in one hand. Okay, I could go to my friend's house tonight and have dinner and have drinks and have a good time, or I could stay home and watch a movie or read a book and do those things that I like to do still. But I think going to my friend's house makes me feel a little bit more excited. But some other nights you might be more excited to read a new book or watch a new video or watch a new movie that's going to inspire you. So it's really all about perspective, and it's really about going into yourself and finding out exactly how you feel about things, and comparing and contrasting, and then choosing and acting on what it is, a higher frequency, no matter what it is, because you're going to try and reason with yourself, and you're going to try and bring yourself back to this safe zone with all your baggage in the area of the valley, and so that you can survive and continue your way of life, so that you know that you're safe. You're safe in the valley. It's hard work going up a mountain. It takes a lot of physical energy, and it takes a lot of adventure and determination and dedication to actually go up and do the thing you want to do, is see the beautiful perspectives of that mountaintop has to offer. But if you continue to be safe in the valley and just continue to be in this miserable kind of place where you're not really grateful for being safe, then you're not going to be really of any help to anybody passing through the valley, because you're just going to be concerned about yourself. You're just going to be concerned about your camp there. You're going to only be concerned about your backpack and your equipment and your supplies and your resources. So let go of the backpack, let go of the baggage, and as it comes up, as you keep wanting to go up the mountain and the baggage wants you to take it with you, and the supply, you want so bad to be safe while you're going up this mountain, but you also don't even care about that life anymore. So you just want to go forth, and you want to go into this new exciting place where anything could happen on this mountaintop, and you can't take it with you anymore because it's just going to weigh you down. It's helped you in the past. All those supplies, remember, all that baggage, all those beliefs, all those equipment and supplies, all those belief systems have helped you in the past, and you no longer want to do that. You want to go on a new adventure and go on to find something new in your life. So let all those things go, and the more that you want to take that with you, whenever you get unconfident or dissatisfied or down on yourself along your path and your journey up the mountain, and you want to go back to the safe valley and go back to where you know where your supplies are at and all your equipment's at, because your mind remembers where you put it and left it. You can always go back, but you don't want that anymore so bad. You would rather die than go back to that life. So go forward, go into the great beyond and the mountaintop that holds more possibilities than you can ever possibly see in the valley. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this performance, and I'll see you guys in the next video.